Good afternoon, everybody. I was just setting it, the Zoom live stream on YouTube, so just give me a quick second. Okay, I think we're good to go. Alrighty. I don't know if you guys were at the registration session yesterday, but it will be a pretty quick session today in terms of registration. You will learn a lot more during orientation itself. And so today I'm just going to give you guys a very brief overview of what to expect, what steps to take before you come to the US, to our university, what you need to do or need to remember to do during orientation, and then what you need to continue to do after orientation. So for those watching, can you guys hear me okay? Can you guys give me a thumbs up or raise your hand if you can hear me okay? I just want to make sure the audio is fine. Perfect. Where are you guys watching from? I'm just curious. If you want to leave it in the Q&A tab, just so I know, but Emmanuel and Enoch, I don't know if I'm saying your name right. I'm sorry if I'm not. But I don't know if I've seen you guys' names in any of our previous webinars. Maybe I have and I just forgot, but if you haven't, I just want to introduce myself. My name is PJ. I'm the Assistant Director for Strategic Communications and Recruitment here at the KIC. I've been in my role full time for about almost 3.5 months now, but I used to work in the KIC as a graduate assistant, and now I just work full time. So I've, kind of experienced all the nuances that happen behind the scenes, and I'm very happy to be here full time. I really love welcoming you guys on campus. So this is pretty awesome. But again, like I said earlier, today we're going to talk about registration, what to do before, during, and after. I'm going to share my screen really quickly. Um, any questions you have, please leave it in the Q&A tab, and then I'll get to it at the end of the session. But like I said, this is going to be a relatively quick session. And if you guys have any specific questions as of right now, that you can think of, also feel free to leave it in the tab for me so that I can answer those for you. And if I am unable to answer them, I will redirect you to the right person for that. I am a little sick, so I do sound a little off, but I hope it still sounds okay. Um, so sharing my screen. Alrighty. So, um, hopefully you guys can see it okay. Um, there are a few things you need to understand is a lot of students ask if they should just register for their classes before they even come here. I always advise against that unless you are in touch with an academic advisor already or you are in contact with somebody in your department. And even then, you will most likely not be able to register because there is going to be an orientation hold or like an insurance hold on your account. So when you get here in the US in January for spring, one of the first things you'll do is pay your insurance amount. Once you pay your insurance amount, the hold that's on your account will be removed and then you can register for your classes. So even if you try to register for your classes right now, it's probably most likely not going to let you. Some things to think about before you even think about registering for classes at the time is, do you have any transfer work that you need to send over to our university? More likely than not, the people watching this are going to be students from who are in their home countries at the moment and are coming on an F1 visa. And so you most likely will not have any transfer work from a US institution. However, if you do, please have an official transcript sent to MSU. Transfer work is evaluated by Registration Academic Records, which is a separate department. So if you have records, please, from a US institution, please have them send an official transcript to us. However, if you are outside of the US and you have college or university transfer work, please work with our office to have your international credits evaluated through ECE. ECE is the platform that we recommend and is also the platform that we have been in communication with. there is a charge with doing evaluation with ECE, but when you do it through us, it is a little more cost effective. So that's one thing to definitely consider is if you already have college or transfer credits, please have them evaluated ASAP, because additional evaluations may also be needed depending on what your major is. So when you're filing for or getting it ready for transferring your credits, please have your copy of your transcripts and course syllabi ready to go when you're doing this. Okay. Please let me know what your major is, and that way I can also talk about those a little bit more depending on what your major is. However, the other thing I really recommend that you do is go onto our catalog. I'll show you what the catalog looks like, and we'll kind of go through it together as well. But the first thing, one of the first other things that you want to do is to go through your academic program or major on the catalog. The link to the catalog is right here on my screen right now. This is exactly where you'd go to access your program, and this is it's going to look like. So this is the academic catalog for 2024-2025, and as you can see, all of programs, the undergraduate and graduate programs are listed on here. So if you're computer information technology, it's going to be here, and this is where you can find it and look at all the courses that you're required to take. Now, I was an undergrad, psychology undergrad, so that's why I have psychology undergrad up here. But if you look for psychology and you find this, you'll also see that there is what's called a four-year plan. This is especially important to notice because this four-year plan is going to show you a timeline for you to graduate in obviously 4 years, but it'll also tell you what courses to take, what semester. Again, this is not information you need to memorize. This is not information you need to have completely memorized before coming here. But this is also something that's very important for you to kind of look at and understand or try to understand before you come here. So if you have questions during orientation, you can ask your academic advisor at the time, and I'll explain how that's going to work during orientation as well. So let's move on a little bit. So I clicked on the four-year plan. And if at any point I'm talking too fast or you feel like you need more clarification, please let me know so I can try my best to slow down and clarify, because I also don't want to confuse you guys. A lot of times when you're obviously going abroad, study abroad, things can be really confusing because it's just a lot of layers. And so I want to make sure that I'm providing you guys with enough information to where it doesn't overwhelm you. But it's also enough that you are kind of knowledgeable about what to expect during orientation. And so after I went to the psychology, I clicked on the four-year plan, and this is what it pulls up for me. So the four-year plan is a model for completing your degree on time. And so your individual four-year plan may change. It doesn't mean that just because it says what classes to take what semester here, that's exactly what you have to do. This is where your academic advisors come into play. You will all be assigned an academic advisor once you're here, and your academic advisor will sit down with you, talk to you, understand what your goals are, understand what you want to learn, understand if you want it to do any minors or if you want to do an extra major. And depending on that, your academic advisor will help you create your own plan to help you graduate on time. And so this is just here as a guide for you to feel a little bit better that, okay, there is a plan in place. However, it can change depending on your conversation with your academic advisor. So it's not always set in stone, but it's always helpful to have to reference. We can also go into the website right now together and look at a specific program. I don't know what program you guys are in, so if you want to let me know, we can look at those together. Emmanuel and Enoch, if either of you guys want to tell me your major, we can also look at that together. But here is what's going to happen during orientation. So I've kind of showed you where to go to look at your majors and what courses are required in there. Now during orientation, all of it comes into play. If you're not in the country yet, you most likely are not, you will receive communication about taking placement testing. If you are not able to join our placement testing webinar, that is on our YouTube channel. A recorded session is available on our YouTube channel, so you can absolutely go ahead and watch that. It's very helpful. We have Riley Davenport from placement testing that was present, and she had a lot of great advice and a lot of helpful information for you guys to know. So if you receive an email about taking your placement testing before you even get here, I highly encourage you to take it and just get it done out of the way. The reason why I say that is because when you get here and you take your English placement testing, you also have to keep in mind that you're most likely going to be jet lagged, you're going to be overwhelmed, orientation can be pretty hectic. So if you're able to take the placement testing before you even leave your home country, please do so. These help determine what courses you need to take your first semester. So what English level you need to be at, what math level you need to be at. Math is not my strong suit. And so when I first took my placement testing, I found out that I had to take Math 98, which is a little like the step one. A lot of my other friends that were good at math ended up being placed in Math 112. So they were placed at a higher level than I was, but I was completely fine with it because I would not have been able to get through Math 112 without going through Math 98 because I really needed help with the basics. So this is why it's important to take the placement testing if they've told you to take it, because we also don't want to place you in a class where you're not learning anything. During orientation, you will also meet with an academic advisor based on your major. So whatever major you've listed, thank you for mentioning your major, Enoch. We'll look at it together. So you will meet with an academic advisor based on your major during orientation, which is amazing. You will be assigned to an advising team. So just know that we will be kind of holding your hands during orientation to kind of show you the ropes and to make sure that you meet with the necessary people that you need to be connected with. These people are going to be very, very instrumental to your academic career as a student here at Minnesota State Mankato. And I highly encourage students to stay in contact with their academic advisors or your advising team throughout your university career until you graduate. That way, your academic advisor can track your progress, give you feedback if they feel like you should take a specific course that would strongly align with your goals in life. They will let you know. And remember, these are professionals. A lot of times we find that students want to listen to their friends. If you have friends here already and your friends are telling you to take like specific classes because that's what helped them, I would be wary of that. It's nice to listen to your friends, but remember that they're not professionals. And sometimes what your friends did might have been the best case scenario for them at their situation, but for you, it might not be the same anymore. There are constantly changes that's happening. And if your friends don't know and they give you that advice and you take it, you could potentially delay your graduating time or even like put yourself in a class that you really don't enjoy and you don't learn anything. So as much as we want to listen to our friends, just know that your advisors are professionals. They know what they're talking about and they have your best interest in mind. So listen to them first. But ultimately, I know it's your decision. However, your advisors are there to help you. All right. After orientation. Now, again, like I mentioned, you will be assigned to an advising team. This is the team that you will continue to meet after orientation. Don't simply listen to your friends and what courses they ask you to register for, like it says on the screen. And continue to schedule a time with them every semester as you're going through college. I used to schedule 2 appointments, so one at the beginning of the semester and one towards the end of the semester with my academic advisors every semester without fail, because I wanted them to track my progress. I wanted them to see what's happening. And I remember changing my minor a few times as well. And being able to get advice from my academic advisors was very helpful in that scenario because it helped me understand what avenue to take and what would be best for my professional career. So after orientation, continue to set up meetings. Orientation is going to be a very hectic time as well. So your advising team might not be able to give you one-on-one advice like you would like. And so if it feels like they're not listening, it's probably because it's really busy and they're helping a lot of students at the same time. As soon as you're done with orientation, schedule a meeting with them right away. And then you can have more of that one-on-one time with them. So highly recommend doing that. A few things to remember. This is information that you guys have already received before, but a few things to remember for spring 2025 orientation. Attendance is mandatory. It's going to be from January 6th to the 10th, 2025. You must arrive in the US on or before January 5th, 2025 to attend orientation on January 6th. The first day you may enter the US is usually 30 days before the program start. And we are very excited to meet you. We have an amazing team of orientation peer mentors, and our peer mentors are current international students that have been here longer than obviously you guys have, and they will be here to help you navigate the US educational system, and they'll be there during orientation to make sure you are able to get to all the places that you need to get to. So your check-in, your registration, your placement testing. And that is also a great time and a window of opportunity for you to speak with the peer mentors and ask about their experiences at MSU and what advice they have for you. Another thing that we also like to do is on Instagram, if you want to follow us, we also have a lot of pre-arrival content. You will also be able to see what current student life is like at MSU. I supervise a wonderful social media team, and they do an exceptional job of showcasing current student life on campus. And I would love for you guys to see that before you even come here, so you get kind of familiar. And you might even see some familiar faces after you watch these videos. You might see these familiar faces on campus, and you can tell them like, hey, I'm a new student, but I saw you on the KIC social media, and I just wanted to say hi. That's a great way to build networking and meet other people. Hi, Naomi. I know you're hello. And I just saw that you just joined, so I didn't mean to call you up. As I was saying earlier, I'm going to go over the program details with you guys again on information technology. It's going to be really quick, but it'll kind of tell you what to do, and I'll leave the link in the chat for you guys as well. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen for a second. Technology is not on my side today. All right. And we're going to get to programs. All right, I'm going to share my screen one more time. I'll show you guys exactly where I'm going and what I'm doing. So, all right, I'm sharing my screen. All right, so all I typed in was MNSU programs. This is where you want to go. I will leave this link in the chat for you guys actually, just because I think it'll be beneficial. I'm sure you guys can find it just fine, but if you wanted the link ready to go, that's right there for you. But here is a degrees and program listing. I'm going to assume the student that Enoch, your undergrad information technology. So I'm going to do information technology. See, so that's the first one that pops up. I'm going to click on that. And here we go. So computer information technology, Bachelor's of Science, and then there's a degree plan. So this is the four-year plan that I was talking about. Actually, there's also a quicker way to do this. Degrees and programs. No, yeah, there we go. That sounds about right. So computer information technology. I'm gonna click on that, and then right here it pulls up all of the subsections within computer information technology that we have. So masters, all right, we can also go into masters in a second, Enoch, but here's what we have for the minor. So the major. So you're going to click on that for the bachelor's degree. If you go down, you'll see a degree plan. So here's what you'll see for 4 years. The credits you will understand a lot better during orientation. However, just know that as a student, international student, you have to be registered in a minimum of 12 credits and a maximum of 18. Most students I've noticed register for like 16 to 18. However, at the end of the day, it depends on what you want and what your comfortability is and how many courses you want to take. Depending on how many courses you take, how little or how little you take, you might want to talk to your academic advisor about what the length of your degree is going to look like as well. So let's go into graduate and then, all right, so these are all the graduate programs we have. Computer information technology. I don't. There we go. So information technology masters. The master's program, it says it requires 32 total major credits. And so you'll see that your program requirements are going to be listed right here. It'll tell you how many electives you need to take. So out of all of these classes, you need to take 10 credits. So these credits added up need to get up to 10. So you need to take 10, you need to take 8 from this section, yada, yada, yada. So this is where talking to your advisor is going to be very helpful. Because you're a graduate student, I will also reach out again to your department and make sure that you're in contact with somebody there so that you're getting the most relevant information and up-to-date information as you're gearing for orientation. All right. And then I'm going to stop sharing my screen. I hope that makes sense to you guys. I know it's a lot of information, which is why I try to condense it as much as possible, because otherwise it can be very overwhelming. But if you have any additional questions, please let me know in the chat box. Otherwise, again, like I said earlier, this would have been a pretty quick session. The session yesterday had more students because it was like, I think the time zone wise yesterday worked out a lot better for students. And so our next session is going to be this Thursday, which is a Travel to Mankato series. If you're still deciding on your transportation, if you're still deciding on, landline, the shuttle services and things like that, Thursday is going to be a great time to ask those questions. We will talk about all of that fun stuff. And then we do have another visa prep session in 2 weeks. So just make sure you're on your portal and make sure you're checking the schedule on the portal for any updates, any changes that might have occurred. And then we have a final orientation overview session as well before orientation starts. I would highly encourage joining that as well because we will have somebody that's been working a lot more closely with orientation present, and they'll be able to answer a lot of your questions for you. With that, if you guys don't have any more questions, I will go ahead and end this session. But again, if you have any more questions at all, please feel free to reach out to us via email. And then I will also see you guys on Thursday for the Travel to Mankato series. So I'll be there as well. I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, afternoon, and night, wherever you are. And I hope you guys are getting ready and prepared for traveling to Mankato. I know can be kind of nerve-wracking for some people. For some, it might be exciting, but regardless, I wish you guys a safe travels, and I'm very excited to see you guys. During check-in, please come up and say hi. I will be there. I would love to meet you guys in person now that I know your names. I'd love to put faces to the names. So I will see you guys during orientation and in all of our future webinars and also our Instagram lives. So see you guys.